Morning sunshine! Welcome to 3 Indie Games, a new series where I play 3 random indie games. Before we begin the video, I would like to say a few words on how this series would work. I will be playing all sorts of games, not bound by genre, although some of the games I would be playing might have a theme to tie them all together. Now you might be thinking, is this just an excuse for me to play games? And the answer to that is yes. You see, there are so many games in society, and I want to play them all, and to show these games to people who wouldn't have known they existed otherwise. However, the style of these videos would be different from your typical playthrough. One, because there is no way I can compete with your Markipliers and your manly badass heroes when it comes to sheer number of videos, and how beloved they are. They have been doing this thing for a lot longer than I have, and I am a big fan myself. 2. When I play a game that fully immerses me, I tend to react like this. Not very entertaining to watch, but that is how I play games that I really enjoy. I would rather play the game first than give my honest thoughts afterwards. Finally, I would like to make these videos more relaxing for both you and me. I want this to be a series you can watch at the end of a long week, so you can sit back, relax, and enjoy new indie games with me. With all that said, I hope you're comfy, grab a cup of coffee, and let's play some indie games. LiEat or LiEat was developed by the Japanese developer Miwashiba. The first game was originally released on Windows on April 26, 2014. The Steam release, which is the collected trilogy LiEat 1, 2, and 3, was released on February 26, 2016. This is the copy I am playing on. While LiEat has 3 parts, I will only be playing LiEat 1 to give time for our other games. There is an overarching narrative interwoven between each part. However, they are all episodic in nature and have a self-contained story. We open to a story about a family of vampires who lived peacefully with humans in a small town long ago. But one dark night, tragedy struck. One of these kind vampires attacked a human in town. Because of this incident, vampires were executed, and the townspeople lived happily ever after. This story was told to us by a father in a silhouette of what seems to be a family. We don't know who these people are. That is, until... we meet our 2 protagonists. The girl is named Effie. She's a dragon, a rare species in this world with an even more peculiar ability. We'll get to that later. While the guy in the red shirt, well, let's call him Leo for now. He's a con man, and Effie's adoptive father. These two have an interesting relationship. They happen upon a sign. Effie seems to have trouble reading it, but Leo reads it to her. Vermilion Town. What do they have to do here? As they enter, Leo says that there's an informant here, so they have to sell the info they got from the last town. I don't know what sort of job that is, but it does seem suspicious. Here, I was given the chance to explore the place and see who I can find. Just at a first glance, I love the color and the art style already. It's very striking and gives such a cozy feeling. As I look around, I found a few interesting things. I met this winged lady with green hair. She seems to know Leo too and is part of the same trade as him. And before I talked to this orange-haired girl, I found a big lyre and a dragon aura, which are powerful gear I can equip later. For what purpose? You'll see. For example, I was just exploring when I stumbled upon this guy. I didn't know what to think at first, until I chose to lie. Yes, this is an RPG, and this is a little lie. It seems to be beating us up pretty good, but that won't last for long. After that whole ordeal, I talked to this guy. He said his name was Keith Rigfire, and that he and his sister were the only two real residents of this town. He also warns us not to go out at night, because there's a vicious wolf that goes out attacking people. Sounds dangerous. We should probably keep that in mind. After exchanging information with the orange-haired girl, we get this cute scene. And we also learn that Effie is a dragon, a lie-eating dragon. There was another interesting detail she pointed out in this conversation, that being the vampire legend we heard from the beginning. They say their bloodline ended long ago, but there is a chance for them to prove that the legend is true. At the end of the day, you told Leo everything you heard, which lends credence to the fact that there is a vampire bloodline in this town. Also, before going to bed, they have a touching moment where Leo tells Effie that her ability to eat lies is a wonderful power, as when the lie becomes too much to handle, it can completely overtake you. When she eats the lie, she can stop that from happening. He also said that she's pretty amazing too. What a wholesome relationship these two have. But anyway, Effie can't sleep, and after talking to some people, she's dead. The person we were just talking to is dead. This is where the game really picks up the pace. Other than solving the legend of the vampires, you have to solve the mystery of the murder. In the next day, you slowly piece together who may have killed her. Leo talks to our winged friend to get more information about this town. She mentioned the vampire story from the beginning of the game. The events of that story happened in a different town. However, one from that family managed to escape from that town. They came here and married an ordinary human. With each generation, the vampire blood gradually weakened, then nothing. All the pages were ripped out. It's important to note that this book was a diary, one written by someone named Gilles Rigfire. Now Rigfire, does that ring a bell? That's the same last name the siblings have. Effie also found some crucial information in the library. A photo of a man, a boy, and a girl. Something is written behind it too. Too bad she couldn't read. But we got our lead. We're confronting Keith again. This time we have Effie, and Leo asked him to tell the story again. He told some lies, but with Effie here, it's up to us to deduce which are the lies. He lied about not going out, and he lied about the wolf being dangerous. Because there is no wolf. Keith admits that the legend is certainly real. They are descendants of that vampire family. And shouldn't you be leaving this town quickly? Because it's a dark night tonight. He managed to escape and lock us inside. We have to find another exit. The lies start overflowing, and Effie's gotta eat them. Eventually, we manage to escape from the back entrance and corner Keith and his sister in that same alleyway. It's time for the final confrontation. Now I love this scene. Leo asks Keith a few questions. Are you a vampire? Did you kill that woman last night? And Keith, being a bad liar, lies out of the skin of his teeth and gets swallowed up by his own lies. He will die if we don't do anything, but thankfully, we've got a lie-eating dragon by our side. Now, truth be told, this last fight isn't very challenging. Just a damage buff here and do your strongest attacks. But I think it's still great as it perfectly makes sense for the story. If it isn't obvious yet, Keith is not the vampire. It's his sister, and she can't control herself when her vampire instincts take over. So, being her loving big brother, he will protect his dear sister at all costs, even if he gets swallowed up by his lies. But we know how the story ends. We manage to save Keith, we solve the mystery of the vampire town, and Leo and Effie can continue their adventures. I want to mention a few other things I love about this game. There are moments that aren't crucial to the story, but they are perfect for world building and for character moments. I love scenes like these, and they really immerse me in the experience and make me care about these characters. There was a scene where Effie talks to the other dragons, the captain of the police force, Neil Macefield, and this vice captain, Brett. And you know when kids first learn that people die, and wait, I am a person, and mom and dad are people too. Oh god. Well, Effie has this realization too. But Neil, being a dragon that has lived for 100 years and has the power of immortality, told her to cherish the time you spend with the ones you love. And that just made my heart beat so. That hit me in the feels. And remember that silhouette of a family in the beginning? That was Keith's family. And when I realized that, I thought it was the perfect way to conclude this first game. Ultimately, LiEat is a short, sweet journey that proves that even little white lies have teeth, and the truth can be the most rewarding meal of it all. Alicemare is the second game released by Miwashiba. This game is more akin to a typical RPG Maker horror game. There is a linear story and a lot of puzzles, and there is a lot more dying if you get them wrong. We open to a conversation with our teacher. He says that this will be our new home and hands us a notebook. We can write down happy things or sad things. Our first task is to meet the other kids in this orphanage of sorts. There's Stella, Joshua, Chelsea, Letty and Rick. And there's you, Alan. During dinner, teacher told us that there was a world unlike our world, and should we be invited to such a world, we should not open that door. Oh, that's great advice, teacher. Anyway, time for bed. Oh. I probably shouldn't help this talking butterfly. And here we are, in some sort of dream world. I got heavy Yume Nikki vibes from this place, as there is a nexus area with a bunch of doors that leads to the dreams of your new friends. The first door you enter leads to Letty and Rick's dream. Here I get stuck on the first puzzle. I just need to find the gold medal and put it back onto the shelf. I swear I have interacted with everything at least 3 times. So I pulled up a playthrough, and to get the gold medal, you need to be looking right while interacting on the beds. I interacted with that before, but I didn't get it. I am not crazy! After accomplishing puzzles, you get a piece of notebook scrap explaining the past of the dreamer. Each of the children's stories are based on fairy tales or fables. Letty and Rick is based on Hansel and Gretel. Chelsea is based on Little Red Riding Hood. Joshua is the boy who cried wolf. And Stella, well, I don't know what her story is based of. They all have one thing in common though. They all end horribly. Something mysterious is going on with the teacher. He appears in some of these dreams, not to harm us, but he's looking for something. How will this all end? That is the main gameplay loop of Alicemare. You solve puzzles, you get a piece of the story, and move on to the next dream. I have to be honest though, I got stuck with a lot of these puzzles. Some are just riddles, while others require real-world knowledge, facts, and logic. And sure, the answers are simple in hindsight, but while playing the game, if you don't know this, then you are stuck there. But maybe that's just me, because I don't play many puzzle games. The story, on the other hand, now that doesn't disappoint. There is one core theme that ties these dreams together, and that is... At first, I didn't know what that means, but by the end of the story, I was overcome by a wave of catharsis as the story becomes so clear to me now. A world lacking love, and children who have their hearts filled with darkness. Nightmare syndrome is a disease that keeps one from waking and takes their soul. Teacher has lost someone in this world and to this disease. He wants to destroy this world and these dreams, whatever it takes. It emerges in children whose hearts are filled with darkness. So, he took in children with nowhere to go, to observe and study them. However, it never appeared in them. It was teacher's door that opened, and the rest of the children were just taken in as well. He was the cause of all this, but he didn't have bad intentions. This line hurts me the most. It was said by our dear teacher. I couldn't give you what you wanted most, because I was never given it. I don't even know what it's like. I'm sorry. And while his dream is consumed by darkness, teacher tells Alan to forget about him, so that no one will come here again. But it's not over yet. Remember, everyone has a notebook, even teacher. Names are the keys to their notebooks. Names are their connections to the person stuck in the dream, which is quite telling when teacher refuses to tell us his name. If you collect all 9 shards of, you will be given one last riddle written on a paper. Solving this riddle gives you the name, David. With this, you unlock the true ending. Everyone grows up and gives David what he never got. Love. And that's Alicemare for you. It's a masterclass in creepy yet cute storytelling that reminds us that while some fairy tales end with a happily ever after, others are just the beginning of a much more complex truth. Are you tired of puzzle solving and dark stories? Well, I have the perfect game for you. The final game, also developed by Miwashiba, is One Bit Heart. It's the most colorful and lighthearted story of the bunch. Bear with me now, but this story has characters. And I mean a lot of characters. You play as Nanashi, a shut-in genius and hashtag relatable protagonist. He's a happy-go-lucky guy, and he even has sans powers. He can see numbers in people, and using those numbers, he can read people completely, among other things. Joining you in your misadventures is Misane, the time-traveling girlie from the future, and potential love interest. She's the one pushing Nanashi to make friends. Finally, we have Mikado. Also a genius, he created the master program which governs most of their world, and is the center of conflict in the story. And he's also Nanashi's cousin. We accompany our heroes in the admirable goal of making friends. Oh, and there is also a hacker group going around hacking people's bitphones, which are connected to their brains. But trust me, that's just the side story. The real quest is helping Nanashi make more friends. You meet a colorful cast of characters that will be part of the main group while solving the mystery of the hacker group, and a bunch of side characters you can befriend during your free time. The core mechanic of this game is talking time. You talk to people and try not to make the conversation awkward. Despite the crazy characters you end up talking to, the conversations do make sense, and I find myself enjoying it a lot. I gotta admit, I got more hooked on this mechanic than I thought. At the end of each chapter, in which there are 4 of, there is a free roam mode, where you can roam around and befriend any character if you can give them the right gifts. Now, onto what I love about this game, which I have a lot to say about. I don't know if it says more about the game or me, the fact that I can tell the trope of a character just by looking at them. Here are some examples. We've got Kundere, Tsundere, Yandere, Japanophile, Mad Scientist, Idol, Shota, Crazy, Clumsy, Bratty, Fatty, and Manly. The list goes on and on, but I'd say there is something endearing about that, like I'm interacting with characters from a slice of life anime. On the topic of slice of life anime, I love the presentation of One Bit Heart. It's so colorful, and the music is something I can only describe as funky and somewhat nostalgic. Here, have a listen. The dialogue was so interesting too. There were quite a few scenes where this game makes me say "what" out loud, or even gets me to verbally chuckle. You know how hard it is for a game to be genuinely funny nowadays? And the icing on top of the cake is the twist at the end. Oh my goodness, this twist was so good. Look, it was fun but predictable that Mikado was going to be one of the hackers. But what I didn't expect was... well, I won't spoil anymore. You have to play the game yourself if you want to know. But I assure you, it's gonna knock your proverbial socks off, pal. Finally, the true magic of One Bit Heart isn't just its colorful pop art aesthetic. It's in the way it forces you to care about these characters. You see, to get the true ending, you can't just rush to the finish line. You actually have to stop and talk to everyone. It turns completionism into an act of kindness, and not just a gameplay mechanic, which fits the game's message perfectly. If I could sum up my experience with One Bit Heart in just a few words, it would be: let's make friends. So, that's the end of the video. What do you think? Do you like this style of video? What can I improve? Do you prefer I focus more on the story? Or would you prefer a more concise explanation? If you like me, tell me in the comments. No, okay, how'd that get there? I mean, if you like these games, tell me in the comments. And recommend me some more indie games for me to play. Also, advance Merry Christmas everyone. I hope you're having a jolly time. Let's play some more indie games sometime, and remember, there is no price for happiness.